Today, we are discussing the annual extermination and how it seems to be getting worse based off the first two episodes of the series, as well as what we can learn from the trading card game that released before the show. These episodes are already available on A24 for $7, and while it is called Early Access, there is no limit to the number of people who can purchase it. It's still just a normal release for the first two episodes, which is why on the 19th, Amazon isn't having a 2-episode premiere again, but a 4-episode premiere, so there is new content with it. Either way, turn back now if you don't want spoilers for episodes 1 and 2 of the series. And if you're just here to complain about how this video contains spoilers after you've already been spoiler warned, you are cringe. And if you want more indie cartoons to watch for free on YouTube in the meantime, check out my video reviewing various indie cartoon pilots and leave a comment letting me know which one you'd like me to talk more about. The extermination is essentially the premise of Hazbin Hotel. This is an annual event where descendants of Adam come down at the end of the year to kill as many sinners as possible to fight back against the overpopulation issue. Despite it being referred to as an overpopulation before the actual series, the first episode reveals in its earliest moments that the annual extermination was less of a response to a huge population and more to an enthusiastic population. Early in Hell's history, Lucifer apparently became disheartened by the darkness in humanity after his choice to give them the fruit of forbidden knowledge, but Lilith inspired the people with her voice and music. It was this that made the angels of heaven decide to start the annual extermination. I'd always imagined the annual extermination as a very new thing, but it seems to be one of the oldest traditions in all of Hell. The big shocker, and second spoiler alert for those who still need it, is that Adam reveals that the annual extermination is being bumped up to twice a year, with the next extermination just 6 months away instead of the full 12. What made all of this even more wild was the reveal at the end of the episode that Adam's motive for a second extermination goes well beyond the lie of overpopulation, or the story Charlie told about heaven doing it to stop some sort of musical uprising, or the goal of entertainment, which I imagine to actually be rather true as far as Adam's various explanations go. The big reason for this, however, is just because for the first time in history, apparently, an exorcist has been attacked and killed by a sinner. It's hard to say how many sinners die in the annual extermination each year, but Adam promises that there will be so many deaths that no one will be able to kill another exorcist ever again. This was something hinted at before the show even started, with some fans, myself included, finding the severed head of an exorcist angel in our randomly assorted packs of Hazbin Hotel trading cards. At the time, we didn't know that there would be only one death, however, and I had theorized in the past that the deaths of the exorcists were common. I didn't imagine there not being all sorts of resistance to the angels, with it having to lead to some casualties. But this death was so surprising that it actually changed the rules of the game entirely. As of now, we can't even say how this angel was killed, as we can't even say if angelic weapons can kill angels, or winners as they are called in the show, just because they can kill sinners. If angelic weapons could kill an angel, I feel like there would have been a lot more death in the angel ranks after having killed countless demons, all with their unique powers that seem made for fighting, giving them an advantage before pulling out angelic weapons that were previously left behind. With that in mind, I have to wonder if it wasn't just anyone who killed this angel, but someone particularly important and powerful, perhaps an overlord or someone even more powerful than that. So let's theorize about who the top contenders are. If an angelic weapon can kill an angel, then just about anyone can be a suspect here. Vaggie very clearly carries an angelic spear, and she is ruthless enough to do it herself if she felt she had to, maybe even to protect the hotel. One interesting possibility would be Alistair, who may have an angelic weapon hidden in his microphone, but also may not need it. Alistair seems to have lost his battle against Vox 7 years ago, but he was already a very powerful overlord known for the carnage he caused toppling the overlords that had ruled Hell before him. While we don't know exactly how he did this, the fact that he could handle so many overlords makes me think that if he decided to get into a battle with an exterminator, he could perhaps just rip them apart. This may have something to do with why he has returned at this time and why he has aligned himself with the hotel who could cause the most problems for the Exorcist. He may see Charlie as a way to get more strength and protection before the next extermination in Hell, knowing that there may be political repercussions for what he did as well. It would be very interesting if this entire season hinged on the hotel crew trying to solve why Adam moved the extermination up, and thus eventually trying to solve this murder, with them having to check their own ranks eventually, and perhaps examining how much they trust each other, and Alistair in particular. With that in mind, another interesting choice would be Charlie herself. She is perhaps the most emotionally affected by the annual extermination, with her clearly taking it very personally and making it her life's work to create a safe space of sorts where she doesn't have to worry about it. The psychology of Charlie is such that she has essentially created a system that lets her filter out who she has to care about. By getting enough people in the hotel, she can convince herself that she's helping everyone who truly wants to be helped, and can feel less guilt about the masses that still die in the extermination each year. Until then, however, she is shown as being absolutely crying because of the annual extermination in the pilot, with her coming out to signal its end with some fireworks. Of course, this implies that she was inside for the night and just now coming out to see what happened afterwards, but it could always be revealed that she had slain an angel when she felt she had to and then gone back inside, though she is mentioned specifically as being pardoned by Adam's second-in-command Aldo in the first episode of the Amazon series. It would make sense if Charlie was somehow responsible for this death, tying her directly into the core issue of the show, and an eventual trial with her having to defend her actions on that night to a council in heaven would be pretty cool, with there being a Heaven's Courtroom featured in the trading cards that the same severed angel head card was a part of. Following that, there is simply the mass hordes of overlords, the representative of which would be Vox. Vox is the key overlord in the series so far and is well known to be the key antagonist for the first season, with Vox being the big villain in hell and Adam being the big villain in heaven. If any of the overlords were powerful enough to pull it off, Vox should be among them, even with Alistair insisting that he's not nearly as powerful without the other Vs. At the end of the day, Vox has essentially conquered hell, and as far as the story's been revealed, Vox did seem to beat Alistair and send him into hiding. Now, while I theorize that Alistair may have slain an angel before, Vox indicates that he has no idea how an exorcist could even be defended against, with him asking his assistant to set up a meeting with Carmela Carmine after announcing that his company would start working on home defense systems against the angels. Camila Carmine was yet another one of the trading cards available before the show released, which gave us the name of a character seen in the background of the Hazbin Hotel pilot, as well as an offhand mention in Hell of a Boss. In the Hazbin pilot, Camila Carmine is one of 3 overlords sharing a room with Lucifer during the annual extermination, indicating that they were inside all night either under Lucifer's protection or protecting him. In Hell of a Boss, Moxie mentions that the angelic weapons that Stryker has is genuine Carmine crafted, all of this indicating that Camila Carmine is an overlord of the angelic weapons trade in Hell. Vox thus assumes that she would have the best information and resources on technology that fights back against angels, but this is a bit of an assumption. While it may imply that the angels, like sinners, are weak to this weaponry, I still have a hard time believing that no other angel would have been killed in all this time that the annual extermination has been taking place, which seems like almost all of Hell's history. In trailers, we can see that there is something of a big overlord meeting where Camila can be seen alongside some assistants we saw collecting left behind angelic weapons in the pilot. In the background, there is an angel that is crossed out in some PowerPoint, and it's possible she may be sharing some sort of development here, though Vox is not at this meeting in particular, at least from this angle in the trailer. And it would be weird for Vox to invite Alistair to that sort of business meeting, especially after the epic rap battle in episode 2. But what do you guys think? Leave your theories in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out that video we made breaking down cool indie cartoon pilots you can watch on YouTube. See you guys there.